Good morning, America. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Our top story today, Savannah Guthrie has released a new video message appealing for help in locating her 84-year-old mother, Nancy Guthrie.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Nancy Guthrie has been missing since January 31st from her Tucson, Arizona home. Authorities believe she was abducted. During the criminal investigation, 2 credible ransom notes. The deadline for money has passed. It was due yesterday afternoon. And while the family released a statement that they would pay, they never heard back from the person or persons behind the ransom. We have a crime expert joining us on the show this morning to detail the clues, the scene, and what comes next in the investigation. Stick around for that coming up in just minutes. Meanwhile, new from the ongoing fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, convicted sex trafficker GHISLAIN Maxwell. She appeared virtually before the U.S. House Oversight Committee yesterday, but she gave no answers. She pled the fifth to every question.
Ms. Maxwell, were you a close friend and confidant of Jeffrey Epstein?
I would like to answer your question, but on the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer this question and any related questions. My habeas petition is pending in the Southern District of New York. I therefore invoke my right to silence under the Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
Let the record reflect that Ms. Maxwell has invoked the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. Ms. Maxwell, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year sentence for her role in Epstein's network, invoked her Fifth Amendment right and refused to answer questions during a closed-door video deposition. However, note this. Her attorney delivered a message to Congress and to President Trump that Maxwell would fully cooperate and testify if she were granted clemency. So she'll only talk if she can be released from jail. So what does that mean? She doesn't want to give the truth. She doesn't want justice for the victims. She's playing games to get released from jail. But the committee says they will press forward with subpoenas in the weeks ahead, and that includes from former President Bill Clinton and also Hillary Clinton. That's coming up on February 26th and 27th. Now to the SAVE Act, the fight to secure our elections. We've covered it extensively right here, and we're still on Capitol Hill pressing for answers. Democrats don't want voter ID at the polls. Here's proof from Senator Elizabeth Warren.
The SAVE Act is expected to be brought this week to the floor for a vote. Do you support voter ID for elections?
Well, it depends on what you mean by voter ID. When you want to say that everyone has to produce a birth certificate, including women whose married names are not on their birth certificates, that creates a real problem for me.
Well, isn't that just one of the first steps in getting married is getting a new ID?
Actually, it's not getting a new birth certificate, because part of what the SAVE Act does is it says most driver's licenses around the country won't work as an ID. And that creates a terrible problem.
But you need an ID to do just about anything in America. Shouldn't you need one to vote in elections?
You don't need a birth certificate. I hope you know that.
Thank you.
She says it depends on what you mean by voter ID. She also says it's a terrible problem. But Allison's right. Most women get their IDs changed when they get married. And Senator Dick Durbin, he also believes it's a terrible idea.
The SAVE Act is expected to be brought to the floor for a vote this week. What are your thoughts on that? Are you going to support the SAVE Act?
Not at all. It's a terrible idea. This notion that we want to put more obstacles in the paths of voters is just what Donald Trump wants, fewer people voting. I want every legal citizen in America to be able to vote without obstacles.
Do you think requiring an ID to vote in elections is making it harder? I mean,
it's more than that. It's more than an ID. It's proof that you were born in America. So what are we talking about, a passport or a birth certificate? Got one of those handy with you in your purse? I doubt it.
Well, if you're going to the voting poll and you know what you need to bring, I mean, it's just one of those documents, right?
Well, just one of those documents. Think about securing your birth certificate before you go in to vote. You know, why are we creating these obstacles? So we have the lowest incidence of fraud and misuse of voting in the world. And Donald Trump wants to put more obstacles in the path of voters. I want everybody legally entitled to vote to have that option without complications.
Thank you very much.
And this is where we insert an eye roll. Yes, of course, only American citizens should vote in American elections, hence why they wanted the borders open. They want illegals to vote. Well, our Kara Castronova, she's standing by with Byron Donalds, who understands the importance of securing our elections from foreign interference and illegal voting schemes.
Hey everybody, Kara Castronova here with Representative Byron Donalds, and we're talking about the SAVE Act. Everybody is talking about the SAVE Act and what you think of it. Will it get passed? How could people help to get that passed? So just start by telling our audience who doesn't know, but most of them do, what is the SAVE Act and why is it so important?
Well, the SAVE Act, I guess now being called the Save America Act, very simple piece of legislation, requires at its core that people have to show up with a voter ID to cast a ballot. They have to prove that they're an American citizen if they're going to be registered to vote. It's common sense policies that 80% of the American people support. The only thing that is holding this up, quite frankly, is the Senate filibuster. You have Senate Democrats who oppose it because they have no problems with illegals voting in our elections, and they have no problems with having a lot of funny business happen in these elections. We want to make sure we're protecting the American franchise, which is voting. And so it'll pass the House very easily. We're very certain about that. But this is something where the Senate is going to have to take action. And I also think this is where Leader Thune and the Senate Republicans are going to have to do what's right and just go to a talking filibuster. If Chuck Schumer or Elizabeth Warren want to go to the well of the Senate and explain to the American people why they oppose something as simple as voter ID, then they should be able to do that. But that doesn't mean they can't sit in their offices and not and just block us from moving that piece of legislation forward by withholding their vote. And I think that's wrong. The American people do not support that. So we need to get that moved. And so I call on Leader Thune to make sure that we get the Save America Act to the desk of President Trump. President Trump wants it. House Republicans want to get it done. There are many Senate Republicans, Rick Scott, Ashley Moody, Mike Lee, so many others who want to get this done. The Senate needs to act, do the right thing on behalf of America.
I know the typical excuses Democrats have for not wanting to implement voter ID requirements, but what have you heard from your colleagues that are Democrats? Why don't they think that that's important?
They don't even want to talk about it. Chuck Schumer came out the other day and said that it was Jim Crow 2.0, and I thought that was the stupidest statement I've ever heard in my life. Because let's be clear on the history. It's the Democrat Party that actually supported Jim Crow. They supported segregation. They supported slavery. It was the Republicans that have always supported civil rights, emancipation, abolishing slavery, and equal rights for everybody. And so you have a detestable statement by Chuck Schumer because he doesn't want to tell the truth. And the truth is that the Democrats have no problems with illegal aliens voting in our elections, and they have no problems with illegal aliens being used to essentially apportion congressional districts. We think that's wrong. The Save America Act is a major step in the right direction, not just for America today, but for America's future.
I always say people, I mean, if Democrats had if all of a sudden illegal immigrants were going to start voting Republican, you would see how fast they would want to pass this legislation. It's simply like ridiculous to me how hypocritical it is.
Listen, if Democrats felt that illegal aliens were going to be Republicans, they would secure the border and they would be championing ICE right now. And I think like what's happening now in our country is so sick. It's so cynical. It's so political, and it doesn't have to be that way. We have a United States Constitution, the best governing document ever created. How about we do the novel thing and follow it? That's number one. Number two, the American people, it is their constitutional right and their God-given right to choose their leaders. So let's make sure that that system is very clean, very straightforward, it is protected, and that there's no even potential for it to become fraudulent. Democrats should work with us to make sure that's a reality. But what do? They want mass mail-outs of mail-in ballots where you're not checking who people are. They don't want to clean up voting rolls. In the state of Minnesota, where they're having all that fraud, a voter in Minnesota can take 7 people to the polls and sponsor them to vote in an election. That's insane. That's crazy. You know, so I think this is where we've come to. The Democrats are not interested in a vibrant constitutional republic. They are only interested in dominant power by any means necessary. And this is where, enough about them, let me talk about Republicans. This is where my colleagues in the Senate, Republican colleagues, they need to get it out of their minds that we are still in 1990s political arguments with the Democrats. This is not Bill Clinton's Democrat Party. It's definitely not JFK's Democrat Party. This is the party of Elizabeth Warren, AOC, Zora Mamdani, and Bernie Frank. Well, you might as well Bernie Frank and Bernie Sanders. Doesn't even matter whichever Bernie you want to choose. They are true radicals. They do not care about the construct of our nation, our Constitution, or the rights and the protections of the American people. So you cannot negotiate with this. What you have to do is win. Senate Republicans need to wake up, come to 2026, realize that their Democratic colleagues do not care about real debate and compromise. They want to win by any means necessary, and it's time for these same Senate Republicans, again, this ain't 1990s Washington, they need to wake up, change the filibuster, let's get the job done for the American people.
Last question on your governor's race. You have big shoes to fill. Everybody loves Ron DeSantis. It's big shoes to fill. What are your plans for Florida? A lot of people say it's the last bastion, sort of. Everybody that wants to get out of New York, like me, always say, we're going to go to Florida. But if Florida ever turned blue, then that would be sort of a pipe dream taken away from so many people that think Florida is the last bastion of freedom. What are your plans as governor of Florida? What is the platform that you're running on?
Well, first things first, I'm a Tea Party conservative. That's how I got into politics. The governor and I, when it comes to conservative philosophy, we agree. The political framework of Florida, being the free state of Florida, being a state governed by conservatism and common sense, that is going to remain. It will not change in our state. Number two, we're also going to be focused on building out the future of our state. Because here's the truth. People, like you said, they're going to want to come from New York because it's terrible. Mamdani let 16 people freeze to death on the streets. What kind of mayor is that? The guy's out of his mind. Or Chicago or anywhere else like that. They're going to want to come to our state. We have to be prepared for the future. Our government has to be far more efficient than it's been in the past. You want to talk about affordability? You want to lower costs for people? Government costs have to get out of the way. Building new homes, we got to be efficient. Building new commercial centers, we got to be efficient. We have to expand our economies. I believe Florida is going to be the financial hub in a decade. We're going to be a major tech hub because of all the space launches at Kennedy Space Center. We have to prepare for all that growth while also protecting our environment, protecting our ag lands, protecting the rural fringe and our beaches, the things that make Florida, Florida. But we're the best state in the country. We're going to continue to be the best state in the country.
You guys agree with the Second Amendment.
Don't even listen to Georgia over there trying to say, don't worry about it, Georgia. We're the best state in the country. It's okay.
Medical freedom you're big on.
Yes, big time. What we want to make sure is that we have informed consent in our state. Parents, they're really the head of the table. They make decisions on behalf of their children. There's going to be some debates around polio, the polio vaccine, the MMR vaccine. Those are statutory vaccines in the state of Florida. But all of the rulemaking vaccines, the governor, and to his credit, and the Surgeon General already removing those rulemaking vaccines, getting that out of the prescribed menu. I think in terms of vaccines writ large, we need to look at spreading out that schedule again. It's become very compressed. I have 3 sons, 22, 18, 14. The vaccine schedule for my 22-year-old is different for my 14-year-olds. And I think that what we have to do is make sure parents are in the driver's seat when it comes to the health and welfare of their children. In Florida, we've led the way on school choice. We're going to also lead the way on medical freedom.
Thank you so much. I'm praying for you in your race, and keep doing the good work that you're doing as a representative in the House.
Thank you.
Again, the SAVE Act is expected for a vote this week. And like Representative Donalds just said, it's common sense. And look at this, the crowd going wild. No more dudes in dresses in our military. From Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Take a listen.
Ms. Maxwell, were you?
No more dudes in dresses.
No more dudes in dresses. Love to hear it. That crowd loved it too. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth making another tour stop on his Arsenal of Freedom tour, touting woke is dead in our military. No more DEI hires. No more of anything except for the best of the best on the front lines.
Held to the highest standards. No more excuses, no more barriers to entry, no more monopolies, no more egregious executive bonuses, no more stock buybacks, no more ridiculous CEO salaries. Especially for companies that can't get things on time. You should see the fire in the president's eyes when he looks at the size of CEO salaries for companies that are years behind and billions over budget on projects that owe the warfighter. You'll have no fury like Donald Trump hearing about that.
Do you notice something here? He's talking to everyday Americans and they support what he's saying, unlike what the fake news wants you to believe. But everyday Americans love the idea. And while all eyes were on Hegseth during his tour, our military, they conducted another lethal kinetic narco-terrorist drug strike. This was on a vessel operated by a designated terrorist organization in the Eastern Pacific. 2 narco-terrorists were killed in this strike. And as you know, it's boats like this, they're bringing in drugs. It's a war on drugs here in America. Narco-terrorists bring them in on land and by sea. And the victims? Americans. One of the main drugs, as you know, is fentanyl. And one woman is living the nightmare of her son taking 1 pill one time and it turned deadly for him. Our Allison Steinberg is standing by with mother of a fentanyl victim and funder.
Hello everyone, Allison Steinberg here with LINDELLTV. We are live at the Capitol outside of the CPAC event, which is targeting combating narco-terrorism. And we're here with Ann Funder, who is amazing. I know you're deeply involved with what's being discussed here today, and it hits very close to home. For you personally, you're also an angel mom, so tell us a little bit about why you're here.
Well, my son was murdered by deception, by a little blue pill, not even a full pill, making a decision as a freshman in high school at 15 years old at a new school where he wanted to make new friends. And so peer pressure got my son. I always say it was peer pressure, but it was pure fentanyl in a little blue pill packaged to look exactly like a Percocet. And it took his life. And you can't make mistakes anymore as a teenager. All teenagers make mistakes and do stupid things. And it killed my son.
I'm so sorry. It's such a heartbreaking story. It's such an unnecessary situation. And it's so sad that this is becoming such a regular issue here in America. Talk to us more about that and how we got to this place where this is such a regular occurrence.
It was more so under the Biden administration. For 4 years, it was almost like it was an invited issue. The borders were wide open and nobody was criminalizing anybody, and people were getting free housing, free food, free health care, cell phones. And, you know, with that came a lot of criminals who wanted the free America, live in the greatest country in the world, and get paid to do it.
Yeah.
And so what you had was a lot of drug traffickers coming over, not to mention violent criminals. They're one and the same to me. And that whole era of time, I like to call it, just invited an incredible epidemic where 300 people a day were dying from fentanyl. And, you know, President Trump has definitely done a lot to clean it up. There's stockpiles here. There's a lot that are still, you know, it's a multi-billion-dollar business. It's, you know, these are people in business suits over, you know, manufacturing this. They're not people sitting in a garage making it. These are, you know, this is an operation. So it's going to take a lot to take it out. But President Trump is doing everything possible. And every day I wake up and look at the news and he's doing something else. So we're on the right track. He's done so much.
He has, and we're so incredibly grateful for that. I mean, this has been a promise of his that he's fulfilled very early on in his presidency, and, you know, rightfully so, because we don't need anyone dying as a result of this. It is just tragic and heartbreaking. But talk to us more about how this is sort of infiltrated the youth. I mean, your son is a victim of this. I was talking to Victor Avila, who's doing great work on this front, about how Hollywood has normalized this. Democrat policies have normalized this, like incentivizing drug users by handing them drug paraphernalia in many of these deep blue cities. Talk to us more about that and how that has impacted so many young people.
Well, again, it's almost as if it's intentional, like they want to poison our youth. All of these, you know, open air drug markets like you see in San Francisco and other cities, they don't work. They keep people, it's very cruel to keep people addicted and to hand them the tools to do it. This is not a good quality life for them. It's a very sad existence, and they need help. They don't need more drugs, especially that as addictive as fentanyl. Once you try that, you can't stop. It's 50 times more addictive than crack. So what people need to be, you know, having happen is, you know, some sort of intervention, you know, programs to get off of this, not handed needles and whatever it is to safely use. You cannot say, there is no safe use of fentanyl. Make no mistake about that. There's no safe use.
No, there's absolutely not. And so many other drugs that people might not think are necessarily dangerous are laced with it too. I mean, that's a common issue as well. So, you know, kids going to a party thinking they're just trying a little bit of something. I mean, it's a common problem.
It's a common problem, and they'll tell you it's a Percocet when it's not. There's not any Percocet in it. It's blue pressed powder with fentanyl. That's complete deception. And, you know, it's disgusting the way it's been handled under Democratic rule. Hollywood just seems to love evil, so it doesn't surprise me that Hollywood is glorifying this. There's no glorifying fentanyl at all. And it's not just fentanyl, it's all everything else, that xylazines, nitazines, adenosines, isonitazines, carfentanil, all the things coming up behind it that are much more dangerous, much more addictive. That's what we got to start watching and getting really a hold of. And President Trump, like I said, he's one step ahead of it. So
yeah, I look at some of these cities, areas of Philadelphia, areas of LA, where you and I are from. I mean, blue cities that are just like, it looks like The Walking Dead. I mean, it's like zombie land, right? And people try this stuff and there's really no going back once you do, and it's just so scary to see that we've fallen so much. I mean, this is also sort of a national security issue, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have more people that have died from this than all of our wars since World War II combined. So this is a war on American soil. What you see on the streets in blue cities is mostly people doing the fentanyl fold. It's called xylazine. And it's it's these blue cities that are enabling it, inviting it. They're harboring people that push it, the traffickers. They're sanctuary. And so until we can, really de-incentivize or unincentivize, I don't know what the correct terminology is, those cities, maybe with funding or whatever it is, I don't see, how we are going to tackle this. Now, President Trump last week put in a lot of new programs for addiction recovery, put a lot of money into grants for things like Narcan, recovery, possibilities for people who want to recover, helping people get off the streets. So he's going to do what he can from his angle, but you do have these blue cities that are absolutely just exasperating this issue.
Totally. It's got to be dealt with at a local level. It's so heartbreaking to me to see, places like California, Gavin Newsom throwing billions of dollars, the homeless crisis. Meanwhile, it's like worse than ever. What is being done? What is being accomplished? What are our hard-earned tax dollars actually funding here? Yeah. So it really makes you question, all of our money going towards these causes that are allegedly designed to help people when literally the problem just continues to worsen, right?
Yeah, and Gavin Newsom's like Exhibit A of all of it. And he's done horrible things to California. It's amazing he gets people to still vote in his favor. You drive in LA and there's tents everywhere with garbage cascading out, even on Rodeo Drive. They are not allowed to clean it up. And our homeless veterans who have these beautifully maintained tents are still homeless, while there's illegal people, including traffickers and hardened criminals, being housed. It's disgusting.
And it's my hope and my prayer that we can get this under control. Hopefully enough people, see with their own eyes, even Democrats, what has happened in their cities and their states, and maybe that's enough to hopefully make a change. So we'll see. And we're so grateful for you speaking out on this, and thank you so much for all the work that you do. And where can people go to find you and support all that you do?
I am still Ann Elizabeth US on my social media, but I will, do whatever I can if you give me a microphone to educate.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Ann. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ann truly is an angel mom. She's been a huge advocate for getting drugs off our streets and especially away from our kids. She's often in Washington, D.C., as she is today, working with the Trump administration to stop the flow of fentanyl into our country. When we come back, more on the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. The investigation now in its 11th day. We talk to a crime expert when we come back.
Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code LINDELL10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10. For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And two of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help.
The latest video from Savannah Guthrie and the search for her mother, Nancy Guthrie. Private Detective Nils Gravelius joining us today to talk more about this investigation. Nils, thank you so much for being here with us today. A lot of unknowns. Of course, we want to bring Nancy Guthrie home, but from the beginning, just 11 days ago, as the world watched, it's just been, a lot of clues left behind, but at the same time, a lot of answers that we need. Take us through, you have over 30 years of experience conducting cases all across the country and the world. As a private detective, let's start from the beginning. We saw from day one there was blood left on the front porch of her home near the front door, and their surveillance cameras are missing. This is truly someone who had a thought out plan. What's your take from what we saw from day one from the scene?
Well, good morning, Vanessa. I'm going to say that I'm a bit skeptical at this point that it is, in fact, a bona fide kidnapping. I'm heading more towards a homicide investigation rather than kidnapping, and I'm going to explain why. To stage this sort of a kidnapping in the modern era of flock cameras, ring cameras, various other license plate readers, cell phone technology whereby they can triangulate and identify every cell phone operating in an area. If this is a bona fide kidnapping, they are either incredibly lucky criminals or very cautious, well thought out criminals. It is rare for people operating on this level to be able to stage and pull one of these things off. The last kidnapping of this profile, if in fact this is a kidnapping for ransom, would be the Patty Hearst case from the mid-70s. I'm thinking homicide here. And I'm wondering who decided this was a kidnapping. They were talking kidnapping almost immediately, but no ransom note had been delivered 48 hours after Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. The ransom demands that have come in have been sketchy, according to everything I've seen in every reliable source and every unreliable source. nothing to suggest this is a bona fide kidnapping. Now, people keep calling for proof of life, Vanessa. In the modern era of artificial intelligence, a thoughtful extortionist could create a AI video that is pretty convincing of Nancy Guthrie for proof of life, whether it is actual kidnapper or just an opportunistic cockroach like the man arrested in Hawthorne last week for doing exactly that, trying to extort money through Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency opportunistically. I noticed that the FBI and the Pima County sheriffs have served a couple of search warrants in this case at the home of a family member. And that suggests very strongly to me that they're heading toward homicide investigation, not kidnapping.
Yeah, and that's you know, the worst outcome that we were all hoping for, if that seems to be the case. But you're absolutely right. They have been at the home multiple times of Annie Guthrie, who is the sister of Savannah, and Nancy was with the family. That's the last people who have seen her before she was taken home that evening and then reported missing the next day. Do you believe that it's someone in her inner circle? I mean, surely this is someone who knew her home, who knew her. Maybe she let them in, they walked in, and then, you know, that's when the nightmare began. Do you believe that this was a planned attack by someone she knew in her tight circle?
Chances are very good it is someone familiar to her. I haven't seen anything to suggest that the home was broken into. That suggests that she admitted the person willfully. But we don't know yet. I don't want to get into statistical things about when people are killed in their home, who kills them, things like that, because there's always an outlier. I'm going to point out that one of the reasons the JonBenet Ramsey case can't be successfully resolved at this point is because the case was initially treated as a kidnapping when in fact it was a homicide. And the police contaminated the crime scene, and the only way they'll ever bring that case home is with a corroborated confession. Now, in this case, we don't have enough facts yet. The Pima County Sheriff is very wisely playing his cards very close to the vest. The FBI is operating in secrecy, as they typically do, with the occasional press release. I don't think that this is going to be a long investigation, Vanessa.
And there are several questions now about where do we go from here? Because like we've been discussing, these ransom notes have been we haven't seen them, but in the beginning, you've seen the family issue videos. And from those videos, it sounds like they believe that Nancy Guthrie is alive somewhere, could possibly hear them, that they'll pay the ransom money. But this person or persons behind the ransom note isn't giving them a way to contact them or pay. So these ransom notes have been very sketchy from the beginning, but the deadline to pay the money has passed. That was yesterday afternoon. So where do we go from here? Savannah released a new video we just watched last night, and now it's all turned in her tone to asking the public for help. So before, she and the family were really talking to a person or persons behind the ransom note, but now that's changed to talking to the public. If you know anything, say something, let us know, no matter where you live.
What you are seeing is the angst and desperation of family members who are hoping against hope. Blame Vanessa Guthrie, God knows I don't, for hopes and prayers, and it doesn't look good, Vanessa. I don't think that Nancy Guthrie is still alive. I'm very skeptical at this point. I pray that she is safely returned, but it does not look good.
Yeah, it's really sad, heartbreaking, and the prayers from all over the world coming in for the Guthrie family. You know, we are A lot of us expecting the worst, but still hoping for the best. Like you just mentioned, we're hoping against hope, but that's all we can do right now is pray and hope for the best. But let's talk about the area around Nancy Guthrie's home. A lot of desert there. And so if this were to be a homicide and say they dumped her body, as an investigator, how do you search this huge terrain of desert surrounding her home for any type of possible crime scene?
Well, you have to search methodically, cadaver dogs, aircraft, things like that. But even still, in a vast desert, one could hope for luck. Typically, there's a bit of luck involved. Not all of this is scientific. I think that there's a reason why the Pima County Sheriff and the FBI are concentrating on the search warrants that they're executing. The area that she lives in, the Catalina Hills, is sparsely populated. Annie lives about 4 minutes away. It's easy for them to isolate using cellular data. The telephones in the area on the night that she disappeared versus other nights. They would be endlessly comparing this metadata. In the event that this is a bona fide kidnapping for ransom, they would be going after this to try to make identification of people with cell phones conducting reconnaissance in the neighborhood in order to stage a successful kidnapping like this. You'll notice that they haven't made an announcement about a person of interest or an MO or a group or anything like that. In years gone by, kidnapping for ransom was a very lucrative thing in Mexico. In 2021, Mexico extradited a Chilean national who had operated in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. They had a ring that operated out of there for 20 years doing kidnapping for ransom. And they were trained by the KGB in the early 70s, fled Chile after Pinochet took over. I don't want to blame Mexico or Mexican nationals for this unnecessarily. I don't think it's that. My inclination at this point, Vanessa, is that Nancy Guthrie was murdered and the whole thing was staged to either look like an abduction or somebody in the media may have irresponsibly said kidnapping when she was announced to be missing, and everybody ran with kidnapping. And I think the likely source for that is TMZ. But I've seen kidnapping since, I'm going to say, 36 hours after her disappearance. I haven't seen anything yet to suggest to me that this is a bona fide kidnapping.
You talked about cell phone data. Surely they've been looking at that. I'm sure they have. How long? My first question is, how long does that take to come in to look at the cell phone data? And another question I have, because they're not giving press conferences anymore, and they say that they won't until something big develops in the case. Another question I have, along with the cell phone data, are lie detector tests. Do you believe, with your experience, people in her inner circle, family members, friends, neighbors, people who may have worked around her home, on her roof, which was recently redone, her landscaper, maybe she has a cleaning lady, do you think those people have been brought in for lie detector tests?
They've almost certainly been interviewed, Vanessa. The polygraph isn't very well understood by the public. This is what I'll say about the polygraph. The polygraph is an electronic box that doesn't work any better than the operator who runs the box. I've seen very skilled polygraphers in my decades of work, and I've seen some people who are amateurs who couldn't turn in a good result. The polygraph mostly works because the public believes that it reveals the truth. What a polygraph reveals, Vanessa, is the subject's perception of the truth. So polygraph is a tool, but it's not an investigation in and of itself. I think what they're concentrating on at this point is cellular location data DNA samples. Obviously, they've tested the blood found at the front door. They haven't announced whose blood it is. I'm going to presume at this moment that it's Nancy Guthrie's, and they're looking for other trace evidence, fingerprints, fiber, hair, flock cameras, cars coming and going, that sort of thing. There hasn't been a lot of camera footage. Apparently, there was an issue with the Ring doorbell at the location, depending on subscription, things like that. All of those are great tools. But in a homicide investigation, Vanessa, typically the case is made in interrogation. And what makes homicide cops different from other cops is their ability to work people. If you watch TV shows like The First 48, they don't concentrate on the scientific aspects of it. It's all about their interviews with witnesses and with suspects and ultimately defendants, getting them to admit what it is that they've done, what they haven't done, that sort of thing. And they're always looking for human behavior. They are students of human behavior. I have many friends who've worked a lot of homicide cases. I've worked a few as a private detective, enough to know that it's a very different realm than, say, working burglary investigations or car theft investigations. You have to have a much harder mien to swim through what it is that you have to deal with interviewing people like this. The polygraph is a great tool for breaking down people who are weak and potential witnesses, that sort of thing. But a polygraph operator can often be fooled by a charismatic psychopath. I don't want to go out on a limb and say that they've used a poly on anybody yet. I think that the case is going to break within the next few days.
I hope you're right, because this has been a long, what it feels like a long 11, 12 days that we have been sitting here waiting and watching the entire world. And so I know it's extremely difficult for the Guthrie family, and I can't even imagine what they're going through and how long it felt for them every minute, just wondering if their mom's alive, if she's not, if there's a ransom, if there's not. It's just been a very bizarre case. Nils, I appreciate you coming on here today. I have one more question for you before we wrap up here. A lot of people were waiting on and depending on this ransom note and hoping that it was legit, in the sense that the Guthries came out and said, we understand, we will pay. And then that deadline passed. They never heard from the person or persons behind the note. So since that deadline passed, my final question to you is, what goes on now? Where do we go from here? Where are the investigators now? Are they still looking at who's behind the ransom note? Are they more focused on finding Nancy, starting from scratch? What's going on behind the scenes?
The FBI and the Pima County Sheriff are going to break down every ransom note demand, etc., that they possibly can. The ransom demands are being made to various media outlets, not to the family. But this doesn't mean they shouldn't be checked out. I think that they're devoting most of their effort to working the various forensic parts of the case, whether it's telephone data, DNA evidence, camera data, that sort of thing, and then going back and comparing it to whatever interviews that they've already done. That's where they're moving forward. And that's where I expect the case to break, is in the interview process of whomever it is that they're working with. The Pima County Sheriff has said that there is no suspect in this case. I'm going to point out that 18 hours before he arrested O.J. Simpson, Tom Lang from the LAPD said that he had no suspect.
Interesting. We all remember that case very well. And so I'm interested in the fact that you just said that you think and believe that we're going to have a break in this case in the next couple of days. And I hope that to be true, so we can get some closure for this family. Nils Gravelius, thank you so much for being here with us, for your intake, for your expertise. And You know, we love to have you on, but hopefully we can get this case solved and move forward for this family, and hopefully, you know, they can get some peace in the coming days. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by this morning.
Yes, ma'am. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. And we'll be right back. More to come with your news to go. Stay with us.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. Are you taking advantage of President Trump's golden age? Or what if I told you can just sit back and earn money as President Trump continues to repair our economy and make America energy independent again? I'm talking about oil royalty checks. With the help of the Oxford Club, thousands of Americans have unlocked this secret hack that has put money back in hard-working American pockets. Financial expert and LINDELLTV supporter Mark Litchenfield has showed me how. It's a way to profit from America's energy production that's been working quietly for decades, even when oil companies were struggling. So go to LindellOilBoom.com to find out how this all works and why it's relevant right now. That's LindellOilBoom.com.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
First Lady Melania Trump will be spending Valentine's week with sick children in Maryland. Tomorrow, Melania will celebrate Valentine's Day at the Children's Inn at the National Institute of Health. She will spend time with children, families, and NIH staff involved in clinical trials. Her visit will take place tomorrow afternoon. Taking a look at opening bell now on Wall Street, numbers from MarketWatch.com. You're looking at the Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ. The Dow opening really good this morning. S&P 500 is up. The NASDAQ down just a little bit, but we've had a wonderful couple of days on Wall Street, hitting record highs. President Trump says, don't be a panicking. Everything looking good today. So far, so good on Wall Street. Looking at your news to go as you start your day, Attorney General Pam Bondi will appear before the House Judiciary Committee tomorrow. She will be questioned about the release of the Epstein files, and she'll also be questioned about Venezuela. Representative Jim Jordan chairs that panel. Again, that will be tomorrow. And tonight, if you're in the Tampa, Florida area, make plans to spend the evening with Turning Point USA Rise. That's a chapter of Turning Point USA. The Pick Up the Mic event will feature Pierre Wilson. He's the Senior Director of Turning Point Rise. It starts at 7 o'clock tonight at the University of Tampa. And join us here tomorrow on My Mornings with Vanessa. Turning Point Faith will be joining us to talk about the Make Heaven Crowded tour, which is going on right now all across the U.S. Don't miss that interview right here tomorrow morning. The Make Heaven Crowded tour. For all news headlines, you can log on to LINDELLTV.com. And don't forget, you can also download the Lindell TV app. And we leave you today in prayer. Our Bible verse of the day comes from the book of Proverbs, and it's very short, but it's very good. The Bible says, wisdom is too exalted for a fool. So put your phone down today, pick up a Bible. Your marching orders are right there from the Lord, and it can be found in your Bible. And that'll do it for us here this morning. For breaking news 24/7, make sure you're following me on social media. I'm on Vocal, X, Instagram, you name it, Truth Social, I'm there. So make sure you give me a follow, and we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Have a good day, America.
Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code LINDELL10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10. For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And 2 of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you can get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions,